Welcome back to our second after hours service training.
So we're just going to go over some procedures now. This is the really important part of the training. So for the call center procedure, we have a call center, and basically for any after hours calls, they're going to call out to you. They're going to have your number and they're going to call you and they're going to give you all the information about the service call that they received. And you're also going to get a text message basically summarizing that call as well. So just make sure that you note down any information that you need to note down. And then it's your responsibility to just acknowledge the call like immediately. Make sure your phone's ready. Make sure you're ready to be able to receive those after hours calls. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the call center. All calls during the day, they won't be going through our call center. So you'll get a notification through Notify or a phone call asking you to go to that. And then so this next part goes into the Notify app. So after you get a service call after hours from the call center, you're now going to create a job in Notify. So I'm going to send you guys a video just kind of walking through the specifics of this. But basically, once you get that call, it's your responsibility to create the job in Notify so that you can clock into that job, and any purchases or anything that needs to go to that job, it's allocated to that service call. So I'll send that video out to you guys shortly. Yeah, now Colin's going to go through the process.
So when you get a request from the call center, be sure to call the store right away and determine the issue, what the problem is. Get as much detail as you can. There could be a regular issue. Maybe the lights are out in the store or there's equipment not working, but get as much of it as possible so that you can prepare for it. If it's a more serious issue, that's really urgent, contact the service manager or someone else on the list there if you need some support or help on trying to figure out how to deal with it. You're not out there on your own. Sometimes the stores will have refrigeration issues. Typically the refrigeration contractor responds first, and if they determine it's electrical, they'll get a hold of us. But a lot of case level issues they deal with on their own. It's not, they repair them themselves. And then if there's a power outage, when you're calling the store, ask if they can see if it's just the store or if it's the whole mall. Maybe the hydro's out in the whole area. There's not a whole lot we can do there unless they want a generator. If it's just the store, then there's details there you'd want to get when you get to site. Investigating whether it's the main breaker or fuses or what kind of stuff is going on, and if a generator is required, you'd call the service manager and to initiate the process. But just dealing with some of the issues on the site, sometimes in an emergency situation, if there's a lot of pressure to get it fixed right away, you can get overwhelmed a little bit. So just staying calm, take a deep breath, don't jump at all kinds of different areas. Try and focus in and deal with what the issue is. Say if it's equipment not working, just focus in and think through the process of where the power starts from and isolate where the problem could be. Depending which way you work from, you can see where the problem would be and isolate where the fault is first. Maybe it's simple as a breaker tripped, or it could be something within the equipment, or maybe there's a wire neutral missing, or you can isolate those things, but try and calm down and not be overwhelmed with trying to do it. Sometimes you could have phase outages in the store, excuse me, where there's some lights are out, but go through the process, test the phases, test the fuses. Sometimes the neutral can be not there and it's causing weird things to happen. Just try and isolate what the problem would be. And then don't just reset the breakers without figuring out why they're tripping. Like maybe you got to turn it on test it, maybe it's overloaded. Something's causing it to be overloaded, and then it's tripping. You could reset the breaker and leave, and then 20 minutes later it trips again. So we got to find out really what the problem is for it. Even if there's a temporary solution, let the store manager know, or the manager, whoever's in responsibility there, know what's going on and what you're doing about it. The communication is really important. So we want to have another area is the closeout procedure. We want to be sure that we're finishing off the jobs properly. And then in Notify, making sure if we're having purchases or materials used that we're entering it into Notify. And then if there's any changes on site with labeling of equipment, make sure we're using P-Touch to label stuff properly. Before and after photos, make sure you get lots of photos into Notify so that we can see exactly what happened, so we can notify and have backup for what we did. If we change the panel schedule, make sure you make note of that on the panel schedule, and then label the plug or whatever it is, the equipment we're doing. And when you're doing your testing, make sure you're not using a pen tester for everything. Use a proper meter and measure the voltages to ground and between phases. Make sure you're doing all your proper phase checks. Sometimes you can have one phase out, or the neutral's not working right and cause really weird things to happen. So make sure you're testing properly with the equipment. And even getting, sometimes if it's equipment the wrong voltage, get pictures of your tester with the voltages. If the voltage is too high and causing problems with the equipment, you could have that too. If we've had to rent a lift, be sure to call it off. Installation areas left clean, so if you're made a mess, like make sure you're vacuuming up or sweeping up or putting stuff away. Don't leave anything there. Make sure you're taking the time to clean up your workspace. It's really important. If we need to get an ESA inspection, make sure we arrange for that, and make sure our work is neat and organized and tidy. Make sure we do a good job when we go do a service call. And then when the project's complete, be sure to communicate that information to the store manager. So whatever you had to do or fix, make sure he knows what you're doing and have done. And if there's more work to come back and do, that you let him know that and make note of it in the software. Versailles has information for that. And then when you're finished with Notify, enter a comment of how it was resolved, kind of what you did, what the problem was, and how you fixed it. And the pictures are really important too. Mm-hmm. So that's
about it, guys.
Yeah, that's this section. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, guys.